Hello guys, and welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to be showing you guys my updated Fluffal list. I figured that this would be a really good time to give you guys the update because we have the Five Nights at Freddy's movie that dropped yesterday. So of course I wanted to go over the cute animals that have the dark secret. So without saying all too much, I just want to go into this and show you guys what I'm doing with it. Starting off, of course, you run 3 copies of Fluffal Dog. Fluffal Dog is the shadows of the deck, being able to search out your Fluffal monsters or your Edge Imp Sabers on summon. And then we run 3 copies of Fluffal Penguin. Fluffal Penguin says that when this card is summoned, you can special summon another Fluffal monster from your hand, which is just really good to be able to continue your plays. Also, if this is used as a fusion material, you can then draw 2 cards and then discard 1 card, which is just really good. Continuing on, we do run 2 copies of Fluffal Bear. Fluffal Bear just allows you to be able to set your copy of Toy Vendor by discarding this card from your hand. Then this card also has another effect that allows you to distribute this card from your side of the field to then add back 1 polymerization from your graveyard back to your hand, which is just really good. Then we run 2 copies of Fluffal Wings. Fluffal Wings is a really powerful card, just being able to banish this card from your graveyard, then banish another Fluffal from your grave to draw a card. Then you can destroy a Toy Vendor you control to draw another card, and then Toy Vendor will get you a search, which I'll go over that in just a moment, which is just absolutely insane, just being able to plus so much just by having this in your grave, with a Toy Vendor on field and another Fluffal in grave. Continuing on, we do run 1 copy of the Fluffal Dolphin. Fluffal Dolphin is just really good, being able to, when this card is on the field, you can target 1 Toy Vendor in your graveyard, set it back to your side of the field, and then you send 1 Fluffal monster or an Edge Imp monster from your deck to the graveyard. So therefore, you can put your Edge Imp Sabers to be able to revive that back, which I'll go over that in a moment. And then Fluffal Dolphin also has the effect of if this card is used as a material, you can then target 1 polymerization or fusion card in your graveyard, or banished and just shuffle it back into the deck, which is just really awesome. Continuing on, I personally run 1 copy of Fluffal Owl. Fluffal Owl is just a walking polymerization by paying 500 life points. Then this card also can just search out polymerization as well, which is just really good depending on what you need. However, you can only use 1 of those effects per turn. Continuing on, I run 1 copy of Fluffal Octopus. This card is just really good, being able to add back a Fluffal or Edge Imp monster from the graveyard on normal or special summon, and then it also has a graveyard effect if it is used for a fusion material, just allowing you to be able to target up to 2 of your banished monsters and return them to the graveyard. And that doesn't have to be a Fluffal monster, that just says any monster that is banished, you just put it back, which is just really good for this deck. And then I personally run 1 copy of Fluffal Cat. Fluffal Cat only has the effect of if this card is sent to the graveyard as a fusion material, you can then add back 1 polymerization from your graveyard, and then just add it back to your hand, which is just really good to be able to continue your fusions. Continuing on into the Edge Imps, we do run 3 copies of Edge Imp Chain. Edge Imp Chain just says that when this card declares an attack, you can add 1 Edge Imp Chain from your deck to your hand, which is not the main effect that we use for this card. The Edge Imp Chain has a other effect that says that if this card is sent to the graveyard, you can just search for a Frightfur card, which is just really powerful. Of course, to continue on with the Edge Imps, we do run 1 copy of Edge Imp Sabers. Edge Imp Sabers is the main card that you're going to be able to search off of all of your other cards. However, Sabers has the graveyard effect. If this card is in your graveyard, you can place 1 card from your hand on top of your deck, then special summon this card out, so therefore that'll allow you to be able to set up for your Toy Vendor, which is just really powerful. Then we run 1 copy of Edge Imp Scythe. Edge Imp Scythe is in here because it just allows you to fuse on your opponent's turn by using this kind of as a hand trap on your opponent's turn, and fuse with monsters that you control and this card. Continuing on, I do run 2 copies of Eldritch the Golden Lord. Eldritch the Golden Lord is in here because it's a really good card to be able to pitch off of Toy Vendor to activate the effective Toy Vendor, and then this can summon itself back out, destroying Toy Vendor and searching. So honestly, I just think that 2 is a really good number for this card. And then to wrap up the monsters, I run 1 copy of Frightfur Meister as well as 1 copy of Lilith, Lady of Laments. So Frightfur Meister is actually searchable off of your copy of Edge Imp Chain, so therefore if you use a card like your copy of Patchwork to be able to get into your chain, this is just another really good target for your chain. Because this card has the effect for its pendulum effect. We don't use this like its effect, monster effect, but the pendulum effect just says that you contribute 1 level 4 or lower Frightfur monster, Fluffal, or Edge Imp monster to special summon from your deck one Fiend monster with the same level but with a different name. So of course the main target for the tribute is Sabers because it's a level 3 and it'll get you into your Lilith, Lady of Lament. And then Lilith, Lady of Lament has the effect of you can tribute a dark monster on your side of the field, which of course you'd be tributing your Lilith, to be able to reveal 3 trap cards. Your opponent randomly picks one and adds that card to your hand. So for that, we do run 3 copies of Necrofusion. Necrofusion just allows you to banish the materials from your graveyard to special summon out a fusion monster, which is just really good because we can use this in tandem with a bunch of cards in our graveyard to go into something like Tiger on our opponent's turn, just to be able to wipe their field, which is just really, really good. Continuing on into the spells, we do run the 3 copies of Toy Vendor. Toy Vendor is the most powerful card in this deck, just being able to, once per turn, discard 1 card from your hand, then I draw 1 card, reveal that card. If it is a Fluffal, you can special summon any monster from your hand, doesn't have to be Fluffal or anything. But then, if it is not a Fluffal card, you send that card to the graveyard. So, of course, you would send, like, your Eldritch from your hand to the graveyard. And then what you would do is you could activate the effect of Golden Lord to destroy Toy Vendor, because Toy Vendor has a really good destruction effect. It says that if this card is sent to the graveyard, you can search your deck for any Fluffal card or Edge Sabers and add that card to your hand, which we pair with Foolish Burial Goods, because Foolish Burial Goods and Toy Vendor is just a Rhoda for any of your Fluffals or your Edge Sabers, which is just really powerful. Continuing on into more consistency, we do run, of course, the 3 copies of Frightfur Patchwork. This card was made for the deck, so you have to play 3, because this allows you to search out an Edge monster and a Polymerization, which is just really powerful to go +1 off of just 1 card, and that get you into even more advantage with the Chain and Polymerization. Then continuing on into the fusion spells, of course we run the 3 copies of Polymerization, as well as 1 copy of Frightfur Fusion. Frightfur Fusion just does the same thing as the Necrofusion, however it is a spell card that allows you to summon a Frightfur. It only has to be a Frightfur, but that's pretty much all we run for the fusions. Then to wrap up the main deck, we do run 1 copy of Frightfur Repair. Frightfur Repair says you can target 1 Frightfur Fusion monster in your graveyard, return it to the extra deck, then you can special summon 1 Fluffal or Edge monster from your graveyard. This card also says that you can banish this card from your graveyard to special summon 1 Fluffal or Edge monster from your hand. You can only use 1 effect per turn, only once that turn. However, this card just allows you to get so much advantage just being able to, like, Monster Reborn your cards, as well as just put back something like a Sabertooth or just anything like that, which is just really powerful. Alright, so that's going to be about it for the main deck. Let's go ahead and take a look at that extra deck. For the extra deck, we run 2 copies of Frightfur Sabertooth. Frightfur Sabertooth's requirement is 1 Frightfur Fusion monster plus 1 or more of either Fluffals or Edge Imps. And then this card has 3 different effects. The first effect is that when this card is fusion summoned, you can target 1 of your Frightfur Fusion monsters in your graveyard, summon that card back to your side of the field. And then this card also has the effect of all Frightfur monsters you control gain 400 attacks, so that's just really powerful to be able to boost up your cards. And then the third effect is that if this card was fusion summoned using 3 or more materials, this card cannot be destroyed by battle card effects, which is just absolutely insane. Continuing on, we do run 2 copies of Frightfur Kraken. Frightfur Kraken's requirements is 1 Edge monster plus 1 Fluffal monster. And then Frightfur Kraken has the ability to, once per turn, target 1 monster your opponent controls and send that card to the graveyard. This card is not a hard once per turn, so if you can make multiple Krakens, which with this deck you can just keep popping cards your opponent controls. However, the only downside is if this card popped a card your opponent controls, it cannot attack your opponent directly the turn it was activated, which is not the best. However, with the ability of Kraken also having the ability to attack twice, you really have to choose if you want to be able to pop cards or just be able to get that extra damage. Then continuing on, we do run 2 copies of Frightfur Tiger. As I said, Frightfur Tiger is really good paired with Necrofusion, but the ability of Frightfur Tiger is that when this card is summoned, you can target cards on the field up to the number of monsters used for the summon, so you can destroy cards your opponent controls or even cards you control, but more than likely you're going to use the effect of this, just blow up your opponent's field and make it so much harder for them to play on their turn. Continuing on, just like Tiger, Frightfur Wolf's requirements is 1 Edge monster plus 1 or more Fluffal monsters, so therefore The effect of Wolf, though, is that this card can attack equal to its materials that was used for the summon. So if you use, let's say, your Frightfur Fusion, you just banish an Edge and Sabers plus 5 Fluffal monsters. This card can attack 6 times for 2,000 points of damage, which is just really, really good. Continuing on, to pair with the Edge Imp Scythe in the deck, we do run one copy of Frightfur Cruel Whale. Cruel Whale just says that this card is fusion summoned. You can destroy one card on both players' fields. Honestly, this card is not nearly as good as the Frightfur Tiger plays, but it's still a idea if you really don't know what else to play. And I think that this card is just really good in the deck anyway, because it is just a easy form of removal on your opponent's turn if you can't get into the Frightfur Tiger. Alright, continuing on into the Xyz monsters, I do run one copy of Bahamut Shark just to be able to get out your Totally Awesome. If you activate the effect of Bahamut Shark, you cannot attack for the rest of the turn, so mainly you're going to summon this card, attack, activate its effect during main phase 2 to summon this, and then you're going to drop double A Zeus on your Bahamut Shark, just so that way you can be able to wipe the entire field if need be, which is just absolutely insane. So that's going to be it for the Xyz monsters. Let's go ahead and look at the Link monsters. We do run one copy of IP Masquerena, as well as, of course, the one copy of Nightmare Unicorn. To pair with Masquerena, you can run the SP Little Knight. I cannot afford that, so I'm just running the Unicorn just as a bit of a backup. But then I do run one copy of Apollosa Bow the Goddess, as well as one copy of Access Code, just to be able to help end games or set up action negations on later turns using the Unicorn. But with that being said, guys, that's going to be it for the video. I hope you guys enjoyed, and let me know if you guys are planning on seeing the Five Nights at Freddy's movie that released yesterday, as well as what you guys think of this deck down below. But with that being said, guys, that's going to be about it. See ya.